Good morning, students. Welcome to our online class. This is your second period, and the subject is political science. Students, today we are starting a new chapter from the book 2. A new chapter from the book 2, that is Politics in India since independence, from that book. Today we are taking up chapter 5. This chapter 5 is according to the revised and updated syllabus supplied by CBSE to all schools. I repeat, today through this video I am going to start book 2 chapter 5, and the chapter name is Democratic Resurgence. Democratic Resurgence. This is the chapter given to me by the CBSE to teach you. So the title of the chapter is Democratic Resurgence. And in this chapter, around 5 topics are given. 5 topics are given which we need to study. First, I will cover the easy topics. Then I'll go to the detailed topic, which is very important. The following 5 topics are Jai Prakash Narayan and Total Revolution. Jai Prakash Narayan and Total Revolution. The second topic is Ram Manohar Lohia. Ram Manohar Lohia and Socialism. Ram Manohar Lohia and Socialism. Third topic is Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Integral Humanism. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Integral Humanism. Fourth topic is National Emergency. National Emergency. And the fifth topic is Democratic Upsurges. Democratic Upsurges, in which we will read participation of adults, backward classes and youth. So these 5 topics are there in this chapter, Democratic Resurgence. So today I will start from the first topic, that is Jai Prakash Narayan and Total Revolution. I suggest both my students who are watching this video to listen carefully, attentively on these topics. Okay, because this chapter is mixed by 2 units. 2 units are combined together and formed this chapter. So listen, students. Democratic Resurgence. Under that, the first topic is Jai Prakash Narayan and Total Revolution. Who is this Jai Prakash Narayan? How is responsible for the total revolution in India? In the textbook it is given. Listen to me first, then you can read the textbook. Jai Prakash Narayan is known for three key contributions. Jai Prakash Narayan is well known for 3 key contributions. One is fight against corruption. He did fight against corruption. Second one, principle of communitarian socialism. He is the person who devised the principle of communitarian, COMMUNITARAN, communitarian socialism. And the third key contribution is championing of total revolution. I mean, he is the champion of this total revolution. So Jai Prakash Narayan is known for his three key contributions, namely, first one, fight against corruption. Second one, he introduced the principle of communitarian socialism, and he is the champion of the total revolution in India. Fine. Now, Jai Prakash Narayan was the first leader. He was the first leader in post-independence India. Jai Prakash Narayan was the first leader in India, or first leader in the post-independence India, who undertook a tirade against corruption. This person was the first leader in India. I mean, first leader of post-independence India, who undertook a tirade against corruption. I mean, he is the first person who raised his voice against corruption through the participation of youth. Through the participation of youth, he fought against corruption, particularly in Gujarat and Bihar, where he started his revolution first against corruption in Gujarat state and next Bihar. I repeat, Jai Prakash Narayan was the first leader in the post-independence India who fought first against the corruption through the participation of youth, particularly in Gujarat and Bihar. I mean, with the help of youth, he raised his voice against corruption, and this protest movement he started first in Gujarat, then Bihar. He advocated the office of Lokpal against corruption. I mean, he is the first person who said there should be one Lokpal, one body, which has to be established to check against corruption, to keep check on the corruption. I mean, Jai Prakash Narayan, he forced to establish a office of Lokpal. There should be one institution called Lokpal, which will check against corruption in India. His principle of communitarian socialism, view India as a society of communities. I repeat, his principle of communitarian socialism views India as a society of communities, encompassing three key layers. Encompassing three key layers such as community, region and Rashtra, RASTRA. So, is communitarian socialism comprises, or in the community socialism, he views India, he wanted to look India as a society of communities, encompassing three key layers such as community, region and Rashtra, all combining together as an example of true federation. If we combine all these three, then it will become an example of true federation. You have studied in class 10th about federalism. Based on the above principles, Jai Prakash Narayan advocated transformation of individuals, society and the state through his call for total revolution. I repeat, based on the above principles, what communitarian socialism. So based on the above principles, Jai Prakash Narayan advocated transformation, change of individual, society and state through his call for total revolution. You will be asked in the exam, who gave a call for total revolution in India? That is Jai Prakash Narayan. Who is the first person who fought against corruption? That is Jai Prakash Narayan, with the involvement of youth. Where Jai Prakash Narayan started his first movement in Gujarat and Bihar. His call for total revolution sought to encompass moral, cultural, economic, political, educational and ecological transformations. I repeat once again. His call for total revolution sought to encompass moral, cultural, economic, political, educational and ecological transformations. His political transformation included the right to recall. Whenever you choose a person for any political office or political post and is not working properly, then the power lies in the hands of the people to call him back from the post. That recall, to call back. Here recall means what? To call back. So his political transformation included the right to recall, the importance of village, mohalla, samitis in democratic politics, and his call for the upper ke log. Uppar ke log. Actually, UPP upper, or we can say uppar ke log. UPP uppar ke log, to join political struggle for a clean politics in the country. I repeat, his political transformation included the right to recall, the importance of village / mohalla samitis in democratic politics, and his call for the upper class society. Upper class society means what? Upar ke log, to join political struggle for a clean politics in our country India. So this was his contribution. He gave a call. The essence for transformation according to Jai Prakash Narayan revolves around man. I repeat, the essence of transformation according to Jai Prakash Narayan revolves around man, who could be the real catalyst of change in India. So this is about Jai Prakash Narayan, one well-known leader. Now I am moving to second topic, that is Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. These are small topics, then I will go for big topic. These topics are there in the textbook. Okay. Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. I am adding some knowledge. More information was given in the textbook. So Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. Let us study about him. His contribution to socialism. What is socialism according to Ram Manohar Lohia? Ram Manohar Lohia has been one of the main proponents of socialism in India. Ram Manohar Lohia is one of the main proponents of socialism in India. He is the first person who always propagate about socialism, who always encouraged about socialism in India. Equality, a society where there is no gap between rich and poor, a society which is based on the principle of equality. So Ram Manohar Lohia was one of the main proponents of socialism in India. He championed the idea of democratic socialism. So who gave the concept called democratic socialism? Ram Manohar Lohia. Democratic socialism, this concept was given by Ram Manohar Lohia. I repeat, the concept of democratic socialism was given by Ram Manohar Lohia while associating his socialism with democracy. I mean, he combined socialism with democracy. Earlier, actually, is one of the famous proponent of socialism. But later on, what he did, he joined socialism with democracy. That's why I can say he gave a new concept in our India, that is democratic socialism. He joined socialism with democracy. I repeat, Ram Manohar Lohia has been one of the main proponents of socialism in India. He championed the idea of democratic socialism while associating his socialism with democracy. Ram Manohar Lohia considered both capitalism and socialism. Generally, he is a socialist person, but he added socialism with democracy. And as you know, that socialism is quite against of capitalism. But see the word what he said here. Ram Manohar Lohia considered both capitalism and socialism equally irrelevant for Indian society. I repeat, Ram Manohar Lohia considered both capitalism and socialism equally irrelevant for Indian society. They are not at all relevant to Indian society. That was his concept. His principle of democratic socialism. You see, you may ask your question, sir, he is the preacher of socialism, he is one of the proponent of socialism in India. But I said he joined socialism with democracy. Okay, he joined socialism with democracy, and he always have a feeling that both the capitalism and socialism are not at all relevant to our Indian society. His principle of democratic socialism has two objectives. His principle of democratic socialism has two objectives. One is the economic objective is form of food. I repeat, the first objective is what? The economic objective in form of food, housing, and the second one, non-economic objective, is the form of democracy and freedom. I repeat, his democratic socialism has two objectives. What are the two objectives of democratic socialism given by Ram Manohar Lohia? So according to Ram Manohar Lohia, is a democratic socialism carries two main objectives. One is economic objective in the form of food and housing, and second is non-economic objective, which is in the form of democracy and freedom. Democracy and freedom. Ram Manohar Lohia advocated what? Chauburja Rajniti. See the word. Ram Manohar Lohia advocated Chauburja Rajniti, in which he gives opinion 4 pillars of politics. Chauburja means what? Chauburja, 4 pillars. Chauburja Rajniti. I mean, Ram Manohar Lohia advocated the concept Chauburja Rajniti. Chauburja Rajniti, in which he gave his opinion that 4 pillars of politics as well as socialism. 4 pillars of politics as well as socialism. There are 4 pillars of politics and socialism. What are they? One is center. Second one, region. Third one, district and village. So center, region, district, village. These are the territories. Center, region, district and village. These are the 4 Chauburja Rajniti or 4 pillars of politics and socialism. All are linked with each other. Your center is linked with what? States, I mean region. States are linked with what? Districts. Districts are linked with what? Village. I mean all 4 are linked with each other. Center, region, district and states. Here region means it implies states or province. So all these are interlinked, linked with each other. Next, giving consideration to affirmation action. He always gave consideration for affirmative action. Lohia argued that the policy of affirmative action should not only be for the downtrodden. I repeat, Ram Manohar Lohia argued that the policy of affirmative action, the policy of affirmative action should not only be for the downtrodden class but also for the women and the non-religious minorities and for the non-religious minorities. Based on the premise of democratic socialism, because his concept is democratic socialism. So based on the premise of democratic socialism and Chauburja Rajniti, Lohia supported a party of socialism. He founded a party of socialism. So Ram Manohar Lohia founded a party called Socialist Party, and this party is based upon two things. One is democratic socialism and Chauburja Rajniti. So based on the premise of democratic socialism and Chauburja Rajniti, Lohia supported a party of socialism as an attempt of merging all political parties. He tried to combine all political parties. Which parties? The party of socialism and many more. Okay, the party of socialism, according to him or according to Lohia, the party of socialism according to him should have three symbols. This party, Socialist Party or democratic socialism, he gave the concept democratic socialism, but he supported the party socialism. So his party according to Lohia should have three symbols such as spade, SPAD, spade. Prepared for make efforts. Spade is what? Used for what? Digging the soil. Spade. It is one of the tool or implement of the labor. Spade. Next, vote. Power of voting. Spade. Second symbol is what? Vote. And third one is prison. PRISON. Prison means what? Willingness to make sacrifices. Spade, vote, and prison. These are the symbols of what? His party. Spade, vote, and prison. Here spade means which is it indicates the symbol of what? Making efforts. Second, vote means what? Power for voting. And third one here, prison means what? Ready to or willingness to make sacrifices. Ready to go to jail. Next one. So this is about some topic, but more detail is given in the textbook. Next, these are the updates I am giving. Next is Deen Dayal Upadhyay and integral humanism. Deen Dayal Upadhyay and the integral humanism. Let us see what he said, Deen Dayal Upadhyay and his integral humanism. So his name is Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, was a philosopher. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay was a philosopher, socialist, economist and politician. All very great person. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay was a philosopher, was a socialist, was an economist and was a politician. The philosophy which is presented by him, he gave one philosophy. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay have given a philosophy which is called integral humanism. So what was the philosophy that was given by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay? Means integral humanism, which was intended to present an indigenous socio-economic model. Indigenous here means what? Local, domestic. I repeat, the philosophy which is presented, which is given by Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay was integral socialism, which was intended, the main aim of this integral socialism, which was intended to present an indigenous socio-economic model. He want to establish one indigenous socio-economic model in which human being remains at the center of the development. In which human being remain at the center of the development. He want the development of the individual. I repeat, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay has given or presented his philosophy which is called integral socialism, which was intended to present an indigenous socio-economic model in which human being remains at the center of the development. The aim of integral socialism, the main aim or the aim of integral socialism is to ensure dignified life for every human being while balancing the needs of the individuals and society. I mean, he wants individual developments. Deen Dayal Upadhyay always wants the individual development. I mean, human-centered development. Okay, the aim of integral socialism, the aim of integral humanism is to ensure a dignified life for every human being while balancing the needs of individuals and the society. It supports sustainable consumption of natural resources. It supports sustainable consumption of natural resources so that those resources can be replenished. Integral humanism increases. Integral humanism enhances not only political but also economic and social democracy and freedom. I repeat, what does integral humanism enhances? So integral humanism enhances not only the political but also the economic and the social democracy and freedom. These things the individual humanism increases. As it seeks to promote diversity, it is best suited for a country as diverse as India. I mean, whatever concept we brought, that is most relevant and most suitable for a country like India, because in India we have a lot of diversity. So as it seeks to promote diversity, it is best suited for a country as diverse as India. The philosophy of integral humanism is based on the following three principles. The philosophy of integral socialism, which was given by Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji, based on the following three principles. Now, what are those principles? Number one, primacy of whole or not part. Primacy of whole. Primacy means first preference, importance, primacy, primary not, primacy of whole, WHOL, whole, not part. Second one, supremacy of dharma. Third one, autonomy of society. Power. So here the philosophy of integral humanism is based on the following principles. One is primacy of whole, not part, supremacy of dharma, and the third one is autonomy of society. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay opposed, what he opposed? Both Western capitalist individualism. He opposed Western capitalist individualism and Marxist socialism. He opposed Karl Marx socialism. He opposed Western capitalist individualism. I repeat, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay opposed both Western capitalist individualism and Marxist socialism. Both things he opposed. According to Deen Dayal Upadhyay, capitalist and socialist ideologies. According to Deen Dayal Upadhyay also, capitalist and socialist ideologies only consider the needs of human body and mind. They will consider only the human body and mind. Western capitalist individualism and Karl Marx or Marxist socialism, both ideologies only consider the needs of human body and mind. So they are based on next video beta. So according to Deen Dayal Upadhyay, he opposed both Western individual capitalist or Western capitalist individualism and Marxist socialism. According to Deen Dayal Upadhyay, capitalist and socialist ideologies only consider the needs of human body and mind. So they are based on materialistic purposes, whereas spiritual development is equally considered important for the complete development of human being, which is missing in both capitalism and socialism. He wants overall development of the individual. He always wants overall development of the individual. basing his philosophy on this integral conscience. Basing on the philosophy, the integral conscience, pure human soul to be called as what? Chitti, Chitti, Chitti. Okay. Deen Dayal Upadhyay envisaged a classless, casteless and conflict-free social system. I repeat, Deen Dayal Upadhyay always envisaged a classless, casteless and conflict-free social system. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is a very big topic is there that cannot be ended now. So students, here I am stopping today the video, and in the next chapter, next period, we will come up with some more topics. They are very big topics. I suggest that if these three people topics are given the textbook, you please go through once. They are very important. Thank you students. Good day. Bye.